Ever wonder about your body's ultimate cleanup crew? Seriously, every single second of the day, there's this amazing, silent team working nonstop to take out the trash your body makes just by, being alive. Well, today, we're going to meet that team. So let's kick things off with a little question. You've got your lungs, your liver, your kidneys. On the surface, they seem to do totally different jobs, right? But what if I told you they're all on the same elite squad with one single critical mission? And that mission is excretion. All right, so to really get why this team is so vital, we first got to understand the problem they're solving. The very processes that are keeping you alive right now are constantly creating waste products. And some of that stuff is pretty toxic. It's easy to just think of excretion as, getting rid of waste. But the actual biological definition is way more specific. We're talking about the targeted removal of harmful stuff made by your metabolism, plus anything else you have too much of. This is completely different from, say, getting rid of undigested food, which never even made it into your body's cells in the first place. And let me be clear, this is not optional. Without this constant cleanup, these toxic substances would build up, mess with the delicate balance inside our bodies, and cause some serious damage. It is absolutely essential for survival. So, who are the main players on this cleanup crew? Let's meet the 3 key organs that handle the bulk of this incredibly important job. Okay, this table breaks down the division of labor perfectly. First up, your lungs. They're constantly getting rid of carbon dioxide every time you breathe out. Then you've got the liver, which deals with excess amino acids and turns them into something called urea. And finally, the kidneys. They're the ones that filter that urea, plus any extra water and ions, straight out of your blood. So what in the world is deamination? Well, imagine you eat more protein than your body needs for building and repair. It can't just store those extra amino acids, so the liver performs this amazing trick. It basically strips off the nitrogen part, which would be toxic if it built up, and converts it into a much safer compound called urea. That urea can then travel safely in the blood until it gets to the kidneys. All right, now it's time to zoom in on the real star of the show, the kidney. We're going to take a much closer look at how this incredible organ works as your body's ultimate filtration system. First, a quick tour of the whole system. The kidneys do the heavy lifting, the filtering. The waste product, which we now call urine, travels down these tubes called the ureters. They lead to the bladder, which is basically a storage tank. Then when it's time, the urine leaves the body through one final tube, the urethra. And hey, a quick pro tip here, because this one trips a lot of people up. The ureters, plural, connect the kidneys to the bladder. The urethra, singular, is the one tube that leads out of the bladder. Definitely want to get those straight. So how in the world do the kidneys pull this off? Well, the real magic happens in millions of microscopic filtering units. I mean, just look at this number. That's right, around 1 million of these tiny little engines, called nephrons, are packed into each one of your kidneys. It's amazing. And the process inside every single one of those million nephrons is just beautiful. It's super efficient, and you can break it all down into 2 main steps. First, ultrafiltration, and then the really, really clever part, selective reabsorption. Okay, let's start with ultrafiltration. Picture a tiny, tangled-up ball of capillaries where the blood pressure is really high. This pressure acts like a super strong sieve, literally forcing all the small molecules out of the blood and into this little cup-like structure that catches it all. So what gets squeezed out in this first big push? Well, a whole mix of things. And here's the catch. It's not just the bad stuff like urea. A ton of valuable things your body really needs also get pushed out. Things like water, glucose, and useful ions. So now you've got a problem. How do you get all the good stuff back without also taking back the junk? And this is where the genius move comes in. Step 2, selective reabsorption. As that filtered liquid flows down a long, winding tube, your body goes to work, carefully and meticulously pulling all the useful stuff back out of the liquid and putting it right back into the blood. This chart shows you just how selective this process really is. It's like your body is going through a checklist. Glucose? Yep, we need all of that back. Water? We'll take most of it, thanks. Ions? We'll take some back, just what we need. And the toxic urea? All of that is staying in the lose pile. It's gotta go. So what's left at the end of this amazing 2-step journey? That's urine. It's basically a concentrated cocktail of everything your body decided it didn't need. all the urea, plus any extra water and ions it wanted to get rid of. This is the final waste product that gets sent down to the bladder for storage. Okay, we've been deep in the microscopic details, so let's zoom back out and just remind ourselves of the big picture, why this whole complicated system is so profoundly important for our health. This quote really just cuts to the chase, doesn't it? It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Every single process we just talked about, it's all working around the clock, 24/7, to prevent this exact thing from happening. And that just leaves us with a final thought. This silent, tireless, and unbelievably complex cleanup crew is working nonstop to keep you healthy, without you ever having to think about it. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What can you do to help protect it?